Showtime.
All right.
Okie dokie. Hello, hello, beautiful Lovetarians. This is Natalia PH from the Lovetarian Way podcast with my fantastic guest, Colin Lewis, who is, oh my God, who are you not, Colin? A shaman, astrologist, energy worker, psychic, channel, man of many trades. How do you call it in the States? Jack of many trades, right?
That's right. The jack of all trades, or in the card world, the jack of spades.
That's right. And you will tell us everything about it in just a moment. Let me just make sure that people understand how this whole thing works. They need to do, if anybody's watching on Facebook, you need to give permission to StreamYard to show your name. So if you cannot see a text with this video, then if you would like to make a comment and you would like us to address you by your name, please enter your name in the comment box, or at least the name that you would like to be known of. Otherwise, I'm just going to be referring to you as Facebook user. That's just the platform. That's what it is. And we're going live on several platforms, YouTube, Facebook. So I don't know where you guys might be coming from. And we would love to answer whatever questions you might have. So Colin is going to lead us through new moon ritual, and that's going to be super exciting. I have gotten a bit of a preview, so I'm very, very interested in how this is going to unfold. And maybe, Colin, if we like it, maybe we can do it, on a more regular basis, right?
Oh, heck yeah.
Cool. So then let me remind everybody that this is actually episode 8, so it's a great number to do the new moon ritual. I'm very much into numbers, and I love number 8. It's even in my logo, reversed infinity and abundance and manifestation. We are coming very close to the Lion Gate portal, right? That's what it's called. So all about wealth, abundance, and opportunity, isn't it, Colin?
Oh, absolutely. That is one that we celebrate each year. We do a Lion's Gate portal activation ceremony, and it's been quite fruitful. Additionally, the number 8 has been coming up for me a lot in the last 3 weeks.
Okay, do tell about it. I'm just going to put an email for Colin to contact him. If anybody is interested in what he's saying, by all means, do contact him on this email. Would you like that email? Okay,
Yeah.
great. I'm just going to post that. Please tell us about number 8, Colin.
Oh, wow. So yeah, the number 8 is the play. I call it the magic number. It's like the place of magic. I think of the numbers as also being a representation of dimensions. And so in the 8th dimension, 8th representation, 8th number, 8th house, whatever you want to call it, you got so many themes going on. You got 2 separate full entities. You got 2 circles who are connected in the middle, who are continuously going. It can represent infinity. I like to look at it as one circle is your body, your etheric field, and then the other circle is the outside, the notion of the outside. And the magician is really doing as above, so below. And so the number 8 just perfectly represents that.
Perfect. So I know that your story is just, people probably did not read what the podcast announcement said, but you have started, working professionally. Your journey started early on. You mentioned you were an obese child, right? And then you got into fitness, really connected with your physical body. And then after that, you connected more with the intuitive faculties, right? Would you like to tell your bio in like 3 minutes?
Yeah, and just absolutely from the perspective of the body, because it's a good place to start. It's what we inhabit. It's our vehicle through this world, and it's an absolute instrument. The way I look at it now, life is tough, and a lot of us are very sensitive, and there's easy ways to kind of put material between you and the other thing. And the best way to do that is to add fat, right? So the more layers you have, the more protection you have. What I realized later is that this is really just a misunderstanding of management of one's own energy field, and proper grounding, proper shielding, and affirmations and things that make you feel safe in the world is a different way to kind of address this issue. So I got into all kinds of things with sports and fitness, and that was my kind of avenue out of that. And I learned that in strengthening the body, it also strengthened the mind. I had no idea. I thought they were completely separate. I thought the brain was just this thing over here sitting in water, has nothing to do with the rest of your body. But what we found in research is we found that the heart actually doesn't receive from the brain. It actually tells the brain what to do.
Mm.
It goes this way. It doesn't go this way. Also, the other real big, interesting realization was that the gut is more motor neurons and more neurons in general than the brain itself. So you're thinking with your gut, you're thinking with your heart, and you're thinking with the gray material, and they're all kind of interacting, and they don't all have the same things going on. So us as a whole system, we're this big Voltron, right? We're this big combination of all these cells, of all these organs, and all these glands, and all these glands representing chakras, and everything has its own purpose and its own need, and it's not all the same. Another thing is we think of ourselves very like, I'm this, I'm only this, but really you're a combination of millions of cells. You're like a nation, really, an ocean, a drop of the ocean, speaking here now.
And that ocean is very much connected to the energy of the moon, isn't it?
Oh yeah, and then you are this water nation of different cells that is constantly oscillating, and so you're really like your head is actually like doing this, like at a very, very slow rate in a very subtle way, always. And we find that out with craniosacral. And that rhythm alone can be the difference between depression and energy and better function. The whole body is obviously doing that. Like if we take a moment to kind of feel like what the world is doing, it's actually wavy. When you start to get into it, it's actually like this. It's really weird that culturally we hold ourselves like this. It's draining. It takes away our natural energy. Really, like if you watch, primates, if you watch animals, if you watch Johnny Depp from Pirates of the Caribbean, you see a lot of swaying. Yeah, that's kind of the natural motion. And so, being aligned with natural rhythms is being aligned with the earth. And we try to separate ourselves from the earth as much as possible with our rubber shoes all the time. And then we're kind of separate from the moon too, because we have these roofs, and they're very nice, and there's pretty things on the TV, but it's all distraction from the amazing magic that is evident.
That's right. And you got into shamanism at some point as well?
Yeah, so the way the journey went was like, figure out my own body issues, figure out my own healing, then get more into kind of mentalism. I played poker for a while. Huh. And then I wanted to learn intuition as well. So I was figuring on one side, poker, on the other side, intuition. And then another thing I do that's a little bit strange, but I kind of recommend this for people, is I do math every night. So just to keep the brain strong. But doing all these different mental activities and coming to some realizations of my own, I started coming to a place where I started taking people on different psychedelic experiences. And as a personal trainer, I've seen people have amazing results, and that take 2-3 years, 2 to 3 times a week. But then with these psychedelic adventures done correctly, I would see 10 years of growth in one day. So then I thought to myself, what can I do with this?
Yeah, done correctly, right? That's very important, because there's a lot of stuff out there that can damage.
Oh my God, yeah.
Do you want to elaborate a little bit of what done correctly means to you?
Yeah, so almost everyone's experience with psychedelics in our culture of today is that we put a big emphasis on material, on education, on achieving things, keep achieving, never having in the moment. We don't really go through an initiation like cultures of old used to go through, and so we have a bunch of uninitiated people who kind of like go into it in a party sense mostly. Some people, do it the quote unquote right way. We'll talk about what that is. But a lot of people combine it with alcohol and maybe something else, and something that's going to make them not really experience the plant. And So what the shamans understand is they understand that plants are teachers, number one. There's consciousness there. And that you're really working in a more relational kind of way with the medicine. So in a relational way, there's respect, there's courtship, there's like going to the plant, talking with the plant, like communication, staying involved, being present. And when you're like that with medicine, oh my God, does it work for you?
It is a process of flow and co-creation in a sense, and also humility, right, and learning. And as humans, we are just used to grabbing and taking, right, majority of us.
Absolutely. Yeah, and it's funny because the earth really just wants to provide. Like, you know, we're all scrapping when there's abundance. It's kind of silly, you know. It's what they call the rat race, I guess.
Yes. I mean, everybody. A lot of people I work with in my workshops, they have issues with abundance or prosperity, and they miss the mark there, that universe is abundant, it's all giving, it wants only best for you, it wants you to thrive and prosper. In your opinion, in your feeling, what is the problem there?
So there's so many little problems. If you go to the ultimate big problem, it's interesting because problems, they change whether or not they're a problem based on the lens that they're being viewed through and based on who's viewing the lens. But it comes ultimately from, I think, a place of like the Indian sense of like Brahma, and the sense of like that all is one big creature. I had a near-death experience when I was 23 years old. Okay. And what I gathered from that was that we are all just one, like one big consciousness, and that there's this thing called purposeful amnesia, where everyone's kind of like it's a big game. And like, I've played video games and they're not fun if you have cheat codes. Like if you can just, essentially be God and do whatever you want. It's a little too, it's just not fun. And so maybe there's this Brahma, and maybe we're all, part of this ocean, a drop of it, and we all come to experience nuance. And maybe within experiencing nuance and experiencing anything, you first need to be disconnected from the one. So there's the one, but how can anything happen if there's just one? So we need to cut it, right? So disconnect. And then in that, like if you wanted to make a fun game, you're going to want to have an adversary. Like if you're Sherlock Holmes, you need Dr. Moriarty. or else it's just Sherlock like being a Virgo or something. Just going around.
Well, in essence, it is a big game. You just need to know the rules, so to speak.
And so this big thing that then becomes two is going to want to have this second piece of it be almost as powerful, but not more powerful enough to control, but also like not known either. So there's a big mystery in that whole piece, and that whole piece is to make us stronger, is to give us challenges, to make us better. And so a lot of people kind of look at this whole thing like we need to eliminate problems, like we need to create this utopia. And I just don't see that as how it is. I see it as, the example of the temple, right? We're living in the temple, and the floor is black and white. The floor is duality. And if you want to ascend, you have to get past the floor. You have to get past duality. But it's always going to be there, and that's what we're always going to walk upon.
So what is your advice?
So the advice is to work with it. Like, know that there is a constant adversary, and it's there to help you. And it's a whole different relationship now. Now it's not like, oh God, weight of the world and everything sucks. It's like, no, cool. I have like a trainer. Gives me life resistance so that I can be stronger.
What doesn't kill you, right?
Yeah. I mean, when you go through something terrible, it's probably these thoughts aren't very comforting. but I think there's some reality to it.
Well, in our workshops, we are basing everything on the Lovetarian Way. By definition, is about, well, I don't know if it actually defines it, but it is the way of love, okay? Unconditional love. We believe we actually derive from the source that is unconditionally loving. I mean, that's that. And I had my own experience, and that's my logo is coming from there. you know, yeah, are you okay? Because there was some little interruption there. You with me, yeah?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Basically, I had my own experience where I experienced oneness, and it was beyond. It was not mental experience. It was being, remembering. It was being one with everything, and I came back to nothing from where I come from. I was nothing, nothing, and I just was experiencing this feeling of unconditional love, and it was awesome, right? And then you come back into the body out of this trance or meditation, and wow, okay, so this is an illusion, and that stuff is real, and we're actually living it at the same time. So if you can embody that in the here and now, wow, everything is perfect. It's a game. We're having those suits, virtual suits, and there are certain rules, and I've downloaded what is called four pillars of the Lovetarian Way, which basically came down to pillar one is take 100% responsibility for what you can, which is basically influencing your own energies, being your thoughts, your feelings, your words, your actions, because let's face it, Colin, I can't control you. I could, but should I? I mean, that's not the purpose, is it? It's my game to play and it's your game to play, and hopefully we can co-create and joy, right? And then it was all about oneness, the pillar two, and then about experiencing miracles daily, because that's basically life for me. And then Lovetarian nourishment, and that's why we have this podcast to present different viewpoints, different visions, different mission within that Lovetarian way. So you would help our viewers greatly if you would tell us a little bit more how we could cooperate with the moon and the earth cycles, and then we're going to go into that beautiful ritual that you prepared. So why it matters to be conscious about the moon, like what is it when it's a new moon or it's a full moon or it's a whatever moon, why it is important. I know we know it's water, it's the goddess energy, it's 70% we are water, so obviously it does matter, but go deeper.
Yeah, absolutely. The moon is basically magnifying this field of energy. This kind of, we divide it into 12 sectors. And these 12 sectors can also be looked at as 12 energy centers or 12 dimensions as well. And so it matters because it's like energetically going with the stream. So if you're let's say trying to start a business in the waxing moon or the waning moon, you're just going upstream. It's not impossible. It's not like it's not going to happen. It's just that you're not like using the natural energies. You could do, like, an example is like you could do magic where you could learn telekinesis and slam a door. Or a different type of magic is just doing the right timing when the wind goes and you wave your arm. And that's a much easier way of doing magic. And they're both magic. But one is kind of like working with what is, and the other one is like putting all your energy out there. So it's the moon represents the feminine a lot of times. It affects the cycle, obviously, and the water levels, and water usually in all these esoteric worlds has to do with the things that are hiding underneath, things unseen, and then of course deep feelings, sensitivities, and emotions. And so understanding what's happening astrologically might just help you on that day where you're like feeling crazy and you don't know why. And then it's like, oh, well, 3 planets are in retrograde. Okay, I feel a little bit better. And like, I know some other people are feeling that too.
I used to be, I'm on this path of conscious awakening, if you will, for the last 12 years. Previous to that, I also was a little bit skeptical, saying, okay, fine, there is the moon, there is the earth, and all of it, it's all connected. However, we have our mind, we have our brain, and we can choose consciously to do whatever we want whenever we want. And what is your take on that? Where is that control and where is that co-creation coming into play? It's like, how is that relating? I know you kind of said a little bit, but can you go deeper even?
Yeah, in terms of like consecrating thoughts, there's a lot to it. You have to really develop the belief within yourself, and so it's easy to say that like one has achieved that, but what I found is like really like many real life examples slowly building up is kind of the best way to get that confidence. That's just the belief aspect. So one side is the belief aspect. Where's my hand? The other side is the will aspect. And so everyone wants to do high level magic, but but will is incredibly important. It's how you put it through. And I like David Blaine as the example for will. People are just like, why does he do these crazy things? Why does he bury himself for 7 days? Why does he run electricity through his body for 2 hours, or all these things he does? It's all just will tests. It's tests of mental fortitude, of being able to do things that are a little bit past what you should be able to do. And the more you do that, the more you realize you can do that. And the more you can do that, the more you can do.
I mean, we were given, I mean, you are not, are you actually spiritual? How would you define yourself?
I don't know. Spiritual is such a loaded term.
I know.
Like, I think so. Spirit. I think there's spirits that inhabit everything. Kind of more in that, maybe more of like a Native American kind of view of that everything has a spirit.
Well, yeah. What I mean is that you obviously know, and you're talking about it. We are energy beings.
Yeah.
So yes, in that sense, yes, you are. You know that you're more than the body. You have mental, emotional, and all of that, right? So now, in that respect, you know, we're teaching in the academy different stages of awareness. We don't want to call them levels, but there's the level. There's a stage where you're using your mind a lot, and then there's the stage where you're starting to awaken to the fact that you are a soul, spirit. You're one with the energy, and then there's this level of surrender.
Yeah.
And that is the ultimate at the end of the day. When I'm receiving my downloads, I'm receiving my marching orders, and I'm observing that it is so much easier for me to play that game because I'm actually getting knowledge and wisdom from the space that is more knowing than just little me here in this body, right? And how can then the energy of the moon again and the earth harp with that? I'm going to be harping that since this is about the moon.
Absolutely. Yeah, I mean, this reality is clearly like a comic book compared to what real reality is. So like, if you're looking at a comic book and imagine those characters were just like real in that world, that 2D world, and you're observing it from this 3D world, like right now we're in that comic book, and there's a much higher dimensions where you can actually look at that. You can go outside yourself and take a look. There's an aspect of looking at dimensions too, where, you know, we're talking about like, what is love? And I see it as two very different things. And, you know, loving yourself and sensitivities is all related to the moon. But there's the 4 and then there's the 9. There's the 4th chakra kind of love, which is what most people experience of it. And that is like from the heart and like its connections, but they're not entirely universal. It's not entirely unconditional. It's not entirely timeless. They're almost like more like energetic hooks. You could look at it like that. And then there's what you've experienced, I think, and what I've experienced, I know, which is that the 9th dimension, which is universal unit. You know, everything is coming together. When I think about working with the sun and moon, I like to think of them as that 8 that's right underneath that 9, which is the all-encompassing love and like unity. But then right below that, you got sun and moon for number 8. And there you go. You got your male and female duality. You got the good and the bad, the dark and the light, however you want to break it down and talk about it.
Yeah. So who said that? One of the wise ones in history, know thyself. Yeah, exactly. And in the Sophia code that we are both, Erica, your what you call Erica your wife, or because she calls you your mate, so you have slightly different names. Yeah.
Australian mighty.
Yeah, exactly. Now, Erica was on our podcast 2 or 3 podcasts ago, and we spoke a lot about intuition and about the Sophia code. And that consciousness is really coming from the highest levels, and it is all about unconditional love. However, to know yourself, you know the fact that you are a dual being just as much as you are the infinite being, it really helps, doesn't it?
Oh, absolutely. And then there's a strange part. So I've come to a couple places with it. Like one place is where you start to realize, I think they're past lives. I don't know, but they're lives that I have a lot of access to. And then there's another level where it's like, as much as you can control like your cells, like there's another level where it's like, it's a multi-person, multi-creature entity that lives in a higher dimension.
Yeah.
Anyway,
Hey,
part of the journey.
Multi-dimensional beings. We are what we are, you know, and that's just part of it, right? So let's make the most of it.
Everything is all ideas too, and I like what you said about like surrendering to higher sources too. I like to think of plants as higher sources, and obviously I like to think of the moon as a higher source. So the moon is a not just something to kind of work with the energies of, but also to communicate with. So that's another big aspect. It's like developing a relationship with the moon. The moon really wants abundance for you, huh?
How does one develop relationship with the moon? Do tell.
Yes. So I think new moon and full moon rituals are a great way to do it. New moon for starting things, and then full moon for, it just has the highest energy for, I like to manifest on those times. But they're both good for different things. Starting something new or full energy manifestation are kind of the main things. And then, yeah, there's different things you can do with the moon in terms of offerings. I like to offer poetry, prayer, maybe an effigy. Yeah, these are all little things I like to do to connect with the moon. The moon right now, like the new moon that we're dealing with right now, is all about Cancer. So right now it's
the Cancer, not the cancer.
No. Not cancel culture, not Cancer. We're talking specifically about the little crab creature.
Yeah. Zodiac Cancer then.
And so cooking, gardening, family, tribe, home. Yeah. These are all the themes right now. And so the last like week has been kind of chaotic in those areas. So I don't know if people out there have been feeling it, but you probably were in one way or another. And we're in this opportunity now, this next kind of, I don't know, 12 hours or so, to kind of create a different tribe, a different way of doing home, a different way of relaxing, a different way of gaining that nourishment and that strength to move forward.
I like the sound of that. Let's do that then. So how do you propose we run this ceremony? Or rather, I'm just going to be quiet and you do.
Sure. No, definitely interact. So yeah, normally I do these things with like 8 to 10 people. I like to basically think of humans as immensely amazing, intelligent batteries.
So, right now, Colin, we have 9 people watching at this moment. Okay. So that's good. Let's do that then.
Awesome. And so with the batteries, the battery is really your spine. And so what we're looking at is chakras. And so we're bringing it from the base chakra all the way up. First thing that I like to do is we have our different sword.
Ooh, look at that.
Yes. So wow. Sword. And what we're going to do with this guy is we're just going to kind of make a circle. So we're going to draw a little circle.
Okay.
And then destroy things in the office. Do the top, do the sides, do the back. Okay, and what we're doing with all that stuff is it's props and it's cool and it looks neat, but it's to get your mind to really focus on that. And when I see that sword myself, it really makes me feel protected. And when I'm doing the actual circle making, I'm psychically visioning that field and I'm actually creating that energy. If there were other people here, I would have them come in with their hands and feel where the aura stops. And that's when you know it's the right place. So there's tangible ways to kind of feel it.
So what shall we recommend? We have like 12 hours from now, more or less. Everybody can do this, right? So if you don't have a sword at home, so we use a knife or something.
Yeah. So in magic, they call it an agathe. It's a magical tool. So you don't actually, oftentimes in the past, it was a cooking knife. And so practical witches would use, just knives that they would also use for the kitchen too. And I think that's a great way to do it. I have no problem with that. Some people believe that your magical item should only be for magic and like you get different energy attached to it when you do other things. And I also could see that point too. And so if you're in either camp, either way works. But for a lot of magicians, they choose a blade that they only use for magic, and they keep it in a special place. And with the moon, you might even charge it with the moon energy as well.
Can it be imaginary knife, or does it have to be actual tangible thing?
It can, but it really depends on how good is your imagination. If you can actually, like, and sometimes when I say it, it's like how good of an artist are you? Because like if you can sort of imagine it and it's fuzzy,
yeah,
not as good as if it's like super tangible and you're seeing it. That being said, I know people that can do it, you know, with nothing, you know.
Yeah.
But I like to start, you know, we'll call it training wheels or water wings at first, and then get to the point where, like, this works just as, this is a sword.
Yeah.
You know, this is a wand.
Yes. Somebody says, I'll borrow my husband's sword. It's almost all the time. Okay, good, that works. Okay. So then we have prop number 1, right? And then does it matter what directions we're moving? Clockwise, anti-clockwise? How is it?
Yeah. So are we trying to wind ourselves up, or are we trying to wind ourselves down? For me, I was going counterclockwise in a wind down kind of way, more grounded. I'm imagining going into the earth. Another thing that's really good is, so yes, I drew with my sword. I drew a line around me. I drew a line in front of me. I drew my circle around my feet. So I'm creating that. But then there's one more big aspect, and that's connecting down. So getting into the earth. So if you want to shoot up to the moon.
Like Excalibur, but down. Yeah. Okay, cool.
And when you go down into the earth, what you're looking for is, you're really trying to visualize. You're going into your mind's eye. You're picturing all the dirt, and you're going into the very center of the earth, and sending a grounding cord into the earth, and then from there drawing up earth energy, and then that's going to help kind of enrich the chakra process. And we want to get it really charged up down low so that we can connect and blast off to the moon.
Perfect. So then, do you normally do it at any specific time, or is it a time frame? I mean, right now we are basically, it's almost new moon, but considering new moon, how much time do people have to do this?
So if you wanted to do it absolutely perfectly, the ritual usually takes about an hour or so. So you'd start it an hour before 6:17:43 p.m. PST.
Which time?
Pacific California time. I don't know what that
now
is.
It is what time is it now?
What time is it now? 9:30. So
in how many hours?
So 9 hours. 9 hours.
9 hours. So you mean exactly, if people would do it for the future, and we're not going to do new moon, maybe we'll do full moon next time. So does it mean that it has to be like they can go to astrology.com and check when is exactly the time for the new moon for your time zone? Yeah.
So you want your consecration and your blast off point to be right at the new moon, right when it starts. If you can get it right there, oh my God, yeah, you're in alignment.
Okay, that's gonna be dancing for me at midnight today then, because for us it's like 1 a.m. I believe. So then I get my sword. That's step number 1. I get my sword or a knife or whatever. Okay, so is it just one prop and then a ritual, or is it several?
We're going to go through all the 7 chakras.
So we go through them first, and then we will sum up, yeah?
Yeah, so first one is the sword. We set our space, grounding and shielding. Our next one, I like to work on emotions. So to represent emotions, I have a cup. So we went swords, and now we're going into the cups. This is a very special cup.
Can it be just a glass, or?
Absolutely. And so I like to, and so this, has some water in it. So I like to charge up the water. So 2 things need to happen with emotions. Number 1, release. Easiest way I like to release is if you can't cry, just making noises that have to do with the pain. Think about a pain in your life. I don't know.
Like a howl or something you can just let out.
Working too much, not seeing my son. Okay, that one's personal to me. All right, I'll do. Yeah. It's as simple as that. That's the noise that came out of thinking about that. And now I just made myself a little bit lighter. Okay, now get the energy going. Get that little chi ball happening. Okay, so you know, for everyone who wants to start it, basically you're trying to find the faintest cloud you can between your hands. Whoop, there it is. Get the shaky hands, let them come down, and then you kind of have to move with it, and it starts to expand and contract based on your sense of self. Okay, then once you got that going, I like to charge my water. So I'm charging it with beautiful home, everything having to do with new moon Cancer, beautiful family, beautiful tribe, beginning new things, spiritual family, spiritual life, love for everyone.
So is it then the charged water with the moon energy that is working, or the vessel is not that important? Explain a little bit.
Yeah, so you're charging the water in the same way that Dr. Emoto, the Japanese scientist who did the crystal experiments, he would get, you know, consistent results for love or harmony, and then he'd get consistent results for bad things too. And so you're literally charging that energy into the water. And I've taken it to the extreme with this. So I've done it in different intuitive groups. Everyone was like trying to make it like happy or energy. I'm like, I can't measure that. So I made mine a laxative.
Oh my, okay.
I'll just say it worked. I won't go into details. But it was enough to prove to me that it works. And I've tried it for other things too. Sleep. Just charge up some water. Sleep. Go, sleep.
Okay. I mean, you have to tell me at the end how you've done it, because I could use some of that when I'm supercharged. Like, how do I get my water to make me sleep?
Oh yeah, no, that's my specialty. They call me the Sandman. It's important in ceremonies. Sometimes you need people just to sleep.
We don't want to put them to sleep now, so we can end with it. I'm gonna make a note.
No sleep. Get out.
Okay,
love,
great.
joy, happiness.
Yeah, great. So we have water then.
Yep.
Next.
That's our second one. That's our, you know, sacral chakra. Okay, next we're going to the third chakra. So third chakra is all about will. So making your will happen. We'll talk about will a little bit. I'll show you the prop that I have for it. The prop is a little wand. Nice little wand.
Yeah.
Okay, this one in particular, we got consecration.
Is that a quartz on it? Yeah.
Quartz. And then we got some sand glass. And then we have at the end a grounding stone. And through the middle we have it's a pipe that I used for ceremonies in Peru, made out of a special glowing tree called Noyo Real, which was very much like the Avatar tree in that movie. And so again, all this is it has an energy property to it for sure, but really it's to consecrate your thought. Okay, so my ideas are strong because I've strengthened them, and my will is strong because I've strengthened that. What are some examples of ways to strengthen will? As a personal trainer, there's so many. You know, plank. I love plank. Just increase your plank duration. Increases your magic. That's a way to increase your magic. Just easy. Do it on your elbows and toes if you don't know what I'm talking about. And just holding that position for longer and longer time develops your will. Another thing you can do is you can do something you don't want to do and do it every day. And it has to be something you don't want to do. As soon as
some people. Good thing to stop.
but you'll find that over time your will starts to get stronger and stronger. And
it's like a mental muscle, right?
Yeah. And so in an energy standpoint, again, we're taking energy from the root, and now we've come through sacral. We kind of release some of that, and now we're using the power of our will to focus our thought, and then we're going to use our wand to kind of point up to the moon right now. That's going to be our ritual to kind of get the will of what we want, which is good family life, good Cancerian principles.
Yeah.
And that is our third chakra.
Are we putting those props later in some configuration? You will tell us all that, yeah? Okay.
Yeah, absolutely.
So then it's a heart, yes, now?
Yeah, the heart. I'm using pentacles for this one. Okay. And I'm also using a strange version of pentacles. So here's my pentacle symbol. But what it is it's a deerskin drum. And so what I like to do, since we're in heart chakra here, is let's get our final anchoring to the earth. Okay, so earth and heart. And so getting into the earth, we talked about before, is like It's a weird little wavy pattern that you get into, and it feels really comfortable and cozy and not too sleepy. And then once you get there,
okay.
and I'm trying to capture what I feel from the earth and what my heart is doing and link it up. So now I have the earth
entrainment, right, of some sort.
And also we're coming into a place of sound and vibration too. And fourth chakra is also about feeling. So this is a good way to get into that as well. And then using the hands, you're using your arms and hands, which is all fourth chakra as well. So this is kind of like our last earth stop.
So if somebody doesn't have what you have, what could they use? Like rose crystal, anything related to heart, or what would other suggestions be?
Since it's Cancer, I really want to like get really into the rhythm and beat of the heart. So any sort of tambourine, bell, a bowl is any you could just tap on something too, as long as you can put it up against your heart and then feel that vibration. So vibration, sound, something to your heart. Could be a crystal, could be a crystal bowl, could be a bowl. All that works.
Cool. All right. So we want the rhythm there, right? Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Yes, you're getting connected with rhythm, getting into that energy. And then that's going to bring us through up into throat chakra. So for throat chakra, what I like to do, here's my little magical journal.
Ooh, lovely.
So some would call this a grimoire. I like to have this be very special. So I had somebody from Etsy make this. And then through it, I have my own notes.
Yeah, beautiful.
So own notes on, here we go. Here's willpower.
Oh yes.
And what these are very personal notes to yourself on how to do certain spells. And there's something about like writing it down where it becomes.
Is it affirmations, incantations, any light language, anything you can use anything, or only positive stuff? How would you?
No, it could be anything. And like an example in here is what I call the 6-dimensional picture. So 6-dimensional picture is something I discovered on a mushroom trip where I went pretty deep into it. And then I discovered that like time was like a choice. Like you didn't have to see it super linearly. You could see, like I was looking at a trail and I was seeing all the runners that had run on it that day. I was seeing all the people who walked together, and then I was kind of joking with my friend. I was like high-fiving them, and there's nobody there, but it seemed funny at the time. But what it made me realize is that like that you could take in more than the 5 senses at once. And so I do that now for when I'm at a place and I just recognize that like I want to remember this when I'm on my deathbed or when I'm 90 or something, but not just remember it like, oh, I remember this time, or like I want to remember it like I can see it and go back and like looking back at me and feel the wind and like see like things that I didn't even see during it, like taking in a cellular account of absolutely everything. And not just 3D, but like 6D, like everything that it meant, everything that it was connected to, all the energetic lines, all of it. And so, so I have something in there that's to do that.
Cool, awesome. So that's for throat.
So throat, that's where I write it. What one should do for this exercise is it's called automatic writing. So you're just gonna write. I'll pretend like I'm doing that now. So here's how I would write. I write. Sometimes it's hard. So you're like, I don't know what to write right now. I'm not sure what I'm going to write. Okay, I'm going to start talking about energy. And then you can just go off. And what you want to do is you want to get to a point where you're writing and you're not judging.
Okay. Extreme consciousness of some sort, yeah.
Yeah, because at the very least, you're channeling yourself. So that's the first step with channeling is you got to learn how to channel yourself. Because we're not really channeling ourselves when we're mostly talking. We're mostly like in a judgment kind of restricted zone. When you're just writing with no pausing, no judging, all of a sudden you're tapping into the higher parts, but it's coming through your voice.
Yes.
And that's what's making this magical. If you can make it specifically like a chant about what you want to accomplish, let's say what's our manifest? We want to have a happy home.
Mm-hmm. Happy, healthy.
Happy home. Okay, so what we're going to do is we're going to look at the word happy home, and we're going to take out every other letter. So I'm going to take out the A, the P, the O, and the E. So I got H, P, Y, H, M. Okay, I'm going to mix up those letters. H, M, P, Y. Get rid of the second H. And I got H, M, P, Y.
And why do you have that? Just because?
Okay, so what are we doing here? We are coding the universe. And so, yeah, so if you go, I like to look at Bible for some stuff. And if you look at the Hebrew Bible, it's the word of God created creation. And it kind of makes sense from like a quantum physics perspective as well. Sound and vibration consecrates itself into material. And so it also makes sense of like how something from higher dimensions could solidify into a lower dimension. And so what we're doing is we're going to like this world of ideas, and we're coding it and we're scrambling it and we're putting it into the world of action. And so what I get from happy home is himpy. That's the quick little one. So himpy. Simply himpy.
Are you doing it intuitively? Or you have a system?
No, the system is you want to eliminate some of the letters. And so the system matters. So the steps matter. So what you want is something very obvious at first, and you want to turn it into a code. So you're basically encrypting to the universe. And this encryption process is important for magic.
And you want to give us a little one-on-one, or is it too complicated
now?
No,
it's not.
Tell us like we don't know anything about it.
Yes.
Teach us, oh teacher.
So let's do.
Yeah.
Teacher.
Teach us, yes.
Okay,
yes.
I want my dream home.
So we're coding people now. We're coding now.
Yeah, so this is a code. This is for our chant.
Okay.
Okay, I want my dream home. Okay, so we are going to eliminate every second I. Oh, there isn't any. Any second A. Oh, here's one. Get rid of it. So it's a second A. So I saw the first one in want. Second N, nope. T is good. M is okay. Y is good. D. Oh, here's a second E. Okay, so now we have, I want my dream home.
So you are eliminating the vowels. What is that called in English? You are eliminating the A and I'm not understanding the system. People, do you understand the system? Colin, teach us again. We're not understanding this. So we are doing.
I want my dream home. You can eliminate more letters. I like to scramble it up at this point. So I'm going to go W-A-M-Y D-E-I-M-R-H-O-M. So I basically just scrambled up the letters. It doesn't really matter as long as it doesn't make sense.
Perfect. Oh, everybody just got it, I believe, yes.
So as long as it's something that your conscious mind can't wrap its head around. So mine says, it's originally said, I want my dream home. Now it says, Wami Diem Ram. And so the process is eliminating. It could be a couple letters. It could be the second vowel. It doesn't really matter. What matters is that you have something super obvious and that you're doing a system to make it into a code. So it's an encryption. So that's going to be the phrase that we're going to want to say when we do our consecration of the energy.
Yeah.
So Whammy Diem Ram.
Sounds like a Hogwarts or whatever, Harry Potter already, you know.
Exactly. Yes. So this is what, what spelling is. you know, what grammar. So grammar becomes the
Or
grimoire.
if you have a baby, just tell the baby to say it, you know, that will be a coder.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, babies are interesting. They seem to have like 5 words that they come out saying. But yeah, that's exactly what you want. It's something that doesn't make sense consciously.
Okay. But sounds magical.
Sounds magical. The more magical it sounds, the better.
Yeah. Okay. Great. Okay. So that's the throat.
Okay. So now we're going to go into the mind, and this is where we make the sigil. Let's get a fresh piece of paper for this.
So sigil. What is the difference between sigil and glyphs and all of this? What is a sigil if people don't know what that is?
So a symbol is just something that represents something else. A sigil is a combination of symbols that are also scrambled up yet again. So we're going to do some more encryption. Okay, so what I like to do is I like to break it down into words first, because that's easy. Okay, so let's describe this dream home. What does the dream home have? It has a nice garden.
Yeah, lots of nice plants, animals, people.
Yes, animals. Nice people. And let's do one more. Let's do 4 things.
Some body of water.
Okay, and water. I love it. Okay. So we got garden, animals, people, water. And then right next to these, I'm going to draw a flower. I'm going to draw the most easy symbols I can think of for that. I'm going to draw a little dog for animals. Okay. I'm going to draw just a stick figure for person. And I'm going to draw like some waves for water.
Yeah.
So these are icons or symbols. Okay. Then what we're going to do is we're going to put them together into one coherent picture. So I've got my flower. It's going to be coming out of the dog's back. It's going to be a strange house. No, I'm just kidding. Okay, and then there's the person over here, and there's some water at the bottom.
Perfect.
Okay, so that's a very
yes.
So that's a very like obvious depiction. So
yeah.
So again, that's not the final step. The final step, you make it more abstract. Okay, so I just really quick. You want to be quick with it.
Yeah.
And intuitive. So you can see the bottom one is, it doesn't really look like all of it, but it does to some degree.
Yes.
That's it. That's your sigil. Okay, so then you're going to write that sigil with the phrase. Okay, what did we say the phrase was?
I want
the phrase was
I want my
whammy diem rom. Whammy diem rom. Okay, so we got our sigil and our phrase. That's our 6. Okay, now our 7. Woo! Any questions? Probably a million questions, but
well, I think people are just in awe. It's like, okay, I'm just gonna ask my, people can just ask their 4-year-olds and it will be done, lots of fun. Or connect with your inner child with this, yeah?
Yeah.
So it will be really cool.
Okay, so now I have that paper.
Yeah.
Okay, I have my cauldron.
Yeah. Can be any cauldron.
It can be a pot. It can be a fireplace. But I want the cauldron specifically because I want to have my water also. So I got my concentrated water, my charged water. And then I also have the paper. And so now we're putting together elements here. We're going to put together water, earth, wind, fire.
Oh my God, Colin, I just have to say it and share it with our viewers. I had this intuitive desire to do this without knowing. I've done this today. Not like that, but with the elements, and I also burned something.
Oh, cool.
We're going to mention that. Is there going to be fire too or not?
Oh yeah, yeah. So we got our fire.
So that brings me back to that intuitive, knowing, when you really co-create and surrender. Like I was in the middle of my meditation and I got, you've got to do this. So then I started to play a little game, I went in the garden and I did that. So I suppose I'm done with my new moon ritual, but maybe I'll do another one.
That's awesome.
Oh, because I didn't know that. So that's just like, wow. It was like premonition of our podcast,
A precognition.
Yeah, that's right. So let's cook some new moon intentions now.
So this was the water that we energetically infused from second chakra. So we're just gonna put that into our little guy.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so that's in there. Okay. Here's our earth, which is paper. Oops. / tree originally. Normally I pick a tarot card to do the number of times. I'm just going to say it 7 times. That feels intuitive for today. Or 8. I'm sorry, 8. 8. It's got to be 8. So, Wame Diem Ram. You ready? You want to say this with me?
Wame Diem
Ram. Wame Diem Ram. Wame Diem Ram. Wame Diem Ram. Wame Diem Ram. Wame Diem Ram. Wame Diem Ram. Wame Diem Ram.
Oh.
Woo!
Awesome.
And then we're taking this into the universe. This is a great way to go from matter to spirit.
Yeah. Yeah.
Literally, energetically. I'm letting the ashes hit the water, and that's kind of our consecration method. We got the fire from above, and the earth container and the water below, in the intermediary.
Could it be buried or done on the soil?
It could be. It depends on if you want it to dissolve in a certain time, and if you want to be there for the consecration of it or not. Woo! And then the water helps out for putting out the fire as well.
Right. So that's that, or is there more steps?
No, that's it. And so now it's in there.
Fantastic. I had a question from a witch, but it's coming on another. Yeah, it's on WhatsApp. Okay, this is a woman asking, what about menstrual blood? Can that be a part of the ritual?
Can blood be a part of the ritual?
Oh, menstrual blood specifically.
Oh,
it's a goddess who is very connected with her cycle.
Absolutely. So menstrual blood is great with gardening, of course. It's a huge part of the old kind of priestess of Egypt. So what they would do is, hopefully this isn't too gross, but I'll tell you what they.
Excuse me. Hello.
Oh no. I haven't said it yet.
This is a public television.
Okay. All right. Well, I'll just say it. It's here was the concept. Here's the combination. You take a snake. You take a snake, cut off the head, you drain the snake down into the cup, take that blood, use the menstruation blood with it, drain the fangs, and then you have the venom. And then that was the priestess drink.
But that is not gross, but that is cruel.
Yeah, no.
Can we do something non-violent?
So that was the old way of doing like a medicine to like be able to see. I don't think you need to hurt animals for anything, really.
No, we're plant-based container. No killing animals. People eat plants. Use your own blood. What about if you're a guy? What about just like taking a little bit from your finger or something?
Well, there is a lot too. So there's a lot of different ways to do magic. So like there is such a thing as pain magic. There's such a thing as blood magic. There's such a thing, sacrifice and all this. But
let's talk about light magic, please, because this is the light container.
I like light magic because you don't need all that. That's kind of like it's like a lower understanding, really. Like but it's a big part of magical history, and you can't really talk about magic without talking
Of
about
course.
those elements,
Yeah.
because people wonder about it too, and a lot of people connect it with it. Um, but but the thing I found in almost every situation is you can always have a win-win-win. Like
Yes.
even with your worst enemy, like yes, you can do bad stuff, but it's much better to wish the best possible outcome for them and to wish the best possible outcome for yourself as well.
100%. 100% with you. You know, pillar 2 of the Lovetarian way. And I work with goddesses mainly. I mean, we don't have anything against, we love men. It's just that, well, women are ruling the world now. You know, the divine feminine is flooding the world. You know, guys, you have done the work for a long time. Let us do the work a little bit. And
Absolutely.
you
And
can
everyone has a masculine and feminine aspect.
Yes,
It's
exactly.
important to honor both. And the divine feminine is powerful, but so is the divine masculine. It's just that we don't see the divine masculine. We see a lot of toxic masculinity.
Exactly. Well, I suppose we are seeing one in you, and my husband certainly is very, very aligned. So it's happening.
Good.
It's happening, and the balance is really becoming, right? We're rather returning to balance, shall we say? No, I mean, I don't know about you, but I'd like to believe that the world was in golden ages many times, and we're entering a new one, no?
Well, yeah, I bring up the priestess thing, and yes, that was kind of gross. But what was cool about it was women running the show. It was women running the show, and the world was doing pretty well in my estimation. Something happened with a version of Christianity where Peter kind of took over, and Peter wasn't very happy with Mary, right? He didn't like women, and it showed up in the whole religion, and that's been 2,000 years of patriarchy and in undermining like the feminine contributions.
Well, if we dig really deeply, it's probably longer than that because Christianity is just one version of the story, right? However, at the end of the day, you know, the power is in the now. We discussed at the beginning that in quantum reality, I mean, we're all multidimensional beings. And if we do the work now, we'll heal many layers through time and space, won't we? And we can also look at everything as a game. We don't need to be dramatic about it. I mean, of course, there's a lot of wounding. There's no doubt. I'm not taking away from anybody's pain, but my job in the Lovetarian way is to guide people to suffering-free world. You know what I'm saying? So that is, if it would be my new moon ritual and intention, is that this home, our Mother Earth, is a happy mother. You know, with all her children playing nice. You know. And there's room for everybody thriving, isn't there?
Oh, absolutely. Yeah.
Good. So that is a good intention. Mini home and a big home. First of all, let's clean up our own home because it is all really a reflection. So from me to you, right? You know, it's like, I believe Mother Teresa, one of them said that, you know, you want to go change the world? Yeah, well, maybe clean up your own house. You know what I'm saying? Because when you do that, it starts spreading, right?
Yeah. So, I mean, you are a temple.
Oh, somebody says yes. I like that. You know, we like when people say yes to what we're saying. Not that we don't allow other points of view. We absolutely do. However, Lovetarian Way truly is about unity consciousness and elevation of humanity's consciousness into this Lovetarian way. I mean, for some, you said it was there are different aspects of love. Ultimately, you and I, we both experience that past the mind sense of knowing and being, and it was not intellectual, it just was. I mean, you know, unconditional love, it just is, isn't it? It just is. It's just the nature of the universe. It's non-judgmental. That's what I've experienced.
Oh, absolutely. It's a field that can be tapped into, and it's the non-linear mind. It's the theta state. You know, a lot of times, like, these are the places where we can access that. At the same time, once you've connected with it, you can keep it with you, even in times of troubles.
Oh, yeah, well, I mean, 100%. I mean, for me, everything that we do, what Erica does, I believe it's all about embodying that here now. I mean, you know, it's gonna be nice when we leave this body, then you back there. But I mean, like, we have a good few decades at least to still do something here. So we may as well focus on that which we prefer to experience and co-create instead of just beating the drum of drama.
Right, right. And you know, oftentimes we talk about just like trivial and mundane things to like keep it in a safe space, but I think that's a nice way that we can change the world. I mean, just taking the superficiality out of like the everyday. I mean, I try to do this on a daily, like just at the grocery mart or just in a passing conversation, and just give a little something, you know?
Yeah, no, 100%. This is lovely. This is very, very nice conversation. I believe people would like us to kind of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, you know, for the left
Oh yeah,
brain, give them the
yeah,
steps because
yeah.
they have some hours. So people get your notebooks. Of course, you can always watch the replay. You have good time still to do it, several hours. Oh, look at you, Colin, properly prepared. Good teacher.
Just clones. I didn't.
So let's yeah, let's sum it up.
Well,
I'm gonna
I'll
do
start.
it too.
Okay.
I'm gonna do it too. Somebody said,
So
what is
so number one
yeah.
is grounding and shielding. So I use the sword. Somebody can use a knife or something that represents first chakra, which is danger and safety. So I think swords are a good way of representing that.
Okay.
And then you're drawing that field. So now you're in your field and you're safe. And now it's time to release emotions. So I like to find in the body where that might be. You don't have to do that. You can just kind of think of something that's bugging you and then come up with a noise for it, release it. And you might do a couple different things. It might not just be one thing. I was doing one thing for time purposes today. Really what you want to do is you want to get rid of the baggage that's holding you back, that will hold back your magic for today. Then the opposite, once you've got the stuff out, use that good energy to put it into the bottle, into the cup, whatever has that water. Make that water what you want it to be for what you're trying to manifest. And obviously water and the moon are hugely related. So that's going to be a big part of it. The third one is about will. So wand and the will. So I like to just do a plank, a real long plank, super easy. And then with the wand, I am shooting energy at what I want and I'm thinking about what I want. So it's almost like a moving meditation of sorts. Mm-hmm. Third chakra, solar plexus focus. The next one is a heart. And so we're going swords, cups, wands, and this one is pentacles. So pentacle here representing earth, also the security of finance as well. But today we're kind of thinking more in the Cancer terms. So Cancer terms being more about the home and the wealth of tribe and having a good life. And so I like to connect it with the heartbeat and with the earth. So get connected to how the earth's moving, get connected to how the moon is, think about where the moon is, and then think about your own connection. And getting all that synced up creates this fourth chakra connection grid. So now you're all connected to the big stuff outside of you, but also to the very center of yourself. And so now you have like a web to launch from. After that, we're in fifth chakra, so throat chakra. Our heart is feeling powerful. So now we feel okay to write our truth. We're in the truth chakra here. So, and then also if you can make it about what you're doing and what you're trying to bring into it, that's even better. We're staying on point in the energetic alignment. And basically we're coming up with a chant that we're going to use later, writing it on a piece of paper. Number 6, we're going into sigil making. And so that's where you do the different icons. You make 4 icons or 5 icons based on the attributes of what you want to bring in. Mm-hmm. And then you put those into a picture. And then you do one step further to make that picture more abstract. So now you have an abstract picture, an abstract chant, and you got your water. And so in the 7th one, you're kind of putting everything together into an energetic send-off into the universe. Mm-hmm. And so You're going to pour that water out that has that energy. You may wish to infuse it with a little bit extra energy at that time. Pour it into the cup. Take your paper, chant your chant. Usually I draw a card to determine how many times, or 8 if you want to use that number, and then you burn it. So you burn it. As you're burning it, this is where it's important. It's important not to check out here. So a lot of people just check out and be like, oh, cool, fire or something. You want to, this is where you really want to concentrate on it.
Yeah.
And so to talk about that further, like what magicians have done in the past for that too is gotten into different states of consciousness for that. Fasting, staying up many nights in a row, chanting things ridiculously long times. These are all ways to get you into that magical state as well. Yeah. My favorite way, because it doesn't cost anything and it's easy and it doesn't hurt you at all, that's what we want, is circles. I like to go in circles.
Oh, so yeah.
Specifically what I do is I go into the redwoods and I run around a redwood circle. And I go to a point where I lose track of what time it is, who I am. I want it to be spinning. I want to be kind of in a slight stupor. And from there, that's the send off point.
Okay, great. There's an idea for you guys. Perfect. Okay, so we have all the steps.
Yep. So those
are all the and that the whole totality will take what, around an hour? If you want to do it properly?
Yeah. So without the explanation and with more just doing the actual items, it should take about an hour. I do it in groups, so typically it takes about 2 hours to get through everyone's stuff.
So if you wanted to have fun with your family, book a little bit of time.
Yeah.
Okay. So for us Europeans, it would be around midnight. So that's also the witchy hour, Yeah. Can you invite? Have you tested to invite some spirit guides? To invite beings into this?
Yep.
What would you suggest there?
Yeah. So I have a very specific way of doing it.
Oh, do tell.
So I play a thing called cell phone Ouija.
Okay.
So what it is I use the talk to text feature, and then I ask it to the ether, and I first of all, protection. You need protection here. Danger. Make sure you're protected and you're in your own power and you know who you are and what it is and all that. That's super important for any kind of channeling. That being said, got all your protections going. I'm going to let that spirit basically control how I'm mumbling. And then I'm going to mumble into the phone. And then the phone gives me back phrases. And it's pretty interesting. I don't know if we have time today, but basically you get answers. You get answers of who's in the room, what do they want, and I've always experienced that they're really funny. They always make jokes.
Yeah, I have the same experience.
And they usually
humor, right?
They usually make fun of me specifically.
Yeah.
Like, look at this guy in this room right now. What's he doing? Saying stuff like that.
Yeah. Okay, great.
But that's my way to access it tangibly, so I can get actual here's a result.
Yeah. Okay, great. So then, how would you end the ceremony then? Complete end before, well, for us, bedtime, it would be then. What do we do then? Do we just let it go? Trust? What do you do days after? Tell.
So I burn up the paper and send it off into the universe, and then I close the circle. So, God, it's weird. I've also done it where you don't close the circle and you keep that energy running. That can be intense, literally just too intense. So I like to end it there. When you're manifesting, if you just keep manifesting over and all the time, it's it doesn't quite come out the way you want it to be. You want it to be really consecrated, magical, intentional thought to get the highest outcome.
One thing I found out when I'm playing with spirit, playing that game, if you abuse it in the sense of, do your thing. This is right now, live in your body, channel your light and so on. but don't ask us million things all the time. Don't connect with us. It's like, don't ask us 100 questions because you have the answers within you. So they start to play with you and they start to make jokes and they start to literally make you look like a little dumb, what. So,
oh yeah, every time.
right. So it's like people really like, we have come here to be the best. Colin, Natalia, right? Like this is the time to focus. So don't bother them. They've got work to do. Yeah. So
yeah.
our part. So you have the same experience.
Oh my God, exactly. Yeah, they are here. They got bigger things going on.
Yeah, exactly. I mean,
maybe if you have a miracle to do, they might be there to help with that. But yeah, just the silly questions. They're just gonna make fun of you.
So close the circle. Be done with it. Let it go. Trust. Right? Yep. Is there something else to be said about that?
Yeah. So a lot of people they'll end their ceremony and then they'll just like keep thinking about it and keep doing stuff with it. That's where you got to go on to something else. Find something else to do.
Exactly. I find that too.
Big part of that one, yeah.
One question I have, because it is the moon in Cancer, right? So does it have to be, I mean, yes, again, working with the universal energies, that's obviously always preferred for the manifestations or whatever you are doing to achieve, working to co-create. But what if you had an intention that is not connected with Cancer? Is that good too?
Yeah. You could do that too. You're working with Cancerian energy, so it's going to have that flavor to it. If you're making an orange soda, it's going to have a little bit of grape to it. So if you're okay with an orange grape soda,
stick within the lines, then it's going to be more. Yeah, okay. So you could make, for example, salty chocolate cake. If somebody likes that, that's okay, right? It would still be chocolate cake, but it would be salty, right? That's what we're trying to do.
Yeah, exactly. It'd just be like a different version of it, not entirely like pure to what maybe you wanted it to be.
Somebody has a question, Steve. Oh, it's a long one. So you do you see the screen? Can you read it and answer it?
See comments. Oh, Steve. Okay. As an artist, I've been practicing channeling my intuitive knowing, and I'm receiving a lot of great energy here. I believe we can find many creative ways to perceive, work through, and express, making this connection with this oneness, divine light, or multidimensional, unconditional love. Just to name a couple other light workers, I've been attracted recently to Gandhi, Jim Carrey, Alex Gray, natural artist Andy Goldsworthy, and have you used any specific? Yeah, it's funny actually, like Jim Carrey specifically.
I love him. He's hilarious.
So I connected with Jim Carrey in Peru on, I don't know, ayahuasca ceremony number 13 of 35 or something. It was like, I can't remember exactly which one it was, but I connected with several famous people that night. That was kind of what it was about. One was Kurt Cobain. So Kurt Cobain was like somebody I always like looked up to and thought was an amazing artist. And when I connected with him on an intuitive level, it was horrible. I didn't like it. My stomach started hurting and it felt very negative. And so I got out of that one. I went to Sigmund Freud. Sigmund Freud, I've always thought of like kind of I didn't like him like in history. Like I always thought he was just too base and like coked out or something. And when I connected with him, I loved that energy. I was like, whoa, like this guy's amazing. And I was kind of watching him like from a corner of a room, and it was like an energy I wanted to be around. It was surprising to me. The next person was Patrick Stewart. Patrick Stewart was like specifically about him wanting to be a female and wearing dresses. And
I could see that.
Yeah.
Easy.
Yeah, it was like, okay, it was a part of him I didn't realize before that. And then and then Jim Carrey. And Jim Carrey, this was before he went on all his mushroom experiences and started talking weird to the press and everything. And this was, early 2017. And what I got from him was, I don't want to be Jim Carrey. I don't want this identity. I want to be nameless. I want to be unfamous. I want to be able to roam and be an artist and do what I do. And then like, as soon as I get back to the States, all of a sudden Jim Carrey is saying, I don't want to be Jim, saying all these things that I had intuited. with him. Jim Carrey is an amazing shaman. Like, we're talking high level wizard here. His graduation speech to the yoga class that he was a part of is incredible. It's one of the most woke, deep, spiritual talks that also has humor in it. It's incredible.
Wow, he's quite a guy. Well, years ago, like 20 years ago, whenever he started with the mask, I was like, what an idiot. But then I was like, whoa, this guy came as a explosion of consciousness.
Yeah, 23andMe, Eternal Sunshine of the Spotless Mind,
yes.
The Truman Show. This is all like deep esoteric knowledge.
And on that note, I mean, Hollywood have given us so many answers, and people think, oh, well, this is science fiction. I'm like, really?
Yeah, no.
Reality is stranger than fiction, also say, you know.
A lot of exposure.
Yeah, exactly. Okay, cool. This was really great, Colin. 1 hour, 20 minutes. Awesome. So, is there something else you would like to say? Any wisdom coming through?
Okay, we're coming into a time where people are going to need to be even more awake with steering. There's going to be some steering coming up.
Explain what that is, please.
It's going to be more fear-based steering people into like a lower consciousness, essentially, and like basically like just don't believe everything that's on the media, because there's going to be a lot more of that coming up mid-July.
Maybe don't watch news whatsoever. I stopped 12 years ago. Oh my God, that helped my awakening so much.
Yeah. Just I like to say like choose your reality, kind of. Like if you know, to some degree you have to live in other people's unconsciousness, but no, just like live your conscious life and like work on the things that you're working on, and you don't even have to change other people. Changing yourself will be the example that they want to change themselves.
Love unconditionally and inspire. I mean, honestly, if we just took care of our energetic business 24 hours, we would have more influence than we could ever possibly imagine.
Oh, absolutely. You know, the old Tibetan saying is like, you know, take care of your needs first, take care of your pleasures second, even pleasures, then take care of others. And, you know, we do it the opposite. And I think that be a lot more love and a lot more understanding if we took ourselves seriously and loved ourselves first before loving others.
And for all the people who are worried or concerned, or they have this, what we call in the school, martyrdom syndrome or victimhood syndrome. I mean, really, there's no need to suffer, because if a person is happy, if a woman is happy, the home will be happy.
Yep.
I mean, allow yourself that freedom and liberation, and everybody will benefit. Do you agree?
Absolutely.
Cool. Oh, getting some pointers from Steve. Thank you, Steve. Cool. We appreciate it. Everybody seems to really love it. Colin, I must definitely have you back. Do you believe it would be next time would be a good idea to do full moon, or what do you say?
Yeah, let's do full moon, because there'll be a little bit different way of doing it. Yeah.
Do you know when that is coming? Like in your head?
Let's see, 14 days. What's 14? So 25th.
Of this month?
Yeah.
25th July. Let me check with the agenda of the podcast, and we will, because we actually, please forgive us, Carmel, because we actually moved Carmel's podcast, who is an energy healer at the general podcast. We moved him out because we wanted to have this one now. But I mean, community of light workers, I mean, priorities, right? We can talk about general stuff anytime. We really wanted to have, I got marching orders from Mary Magdalene, believe it or not, Ascended Master Mary Magdalene. I was really deeply working with, you know, the Dragon Tribe Erica's working with. And it was like, you need to lead this new moon thing now. I don't know why. I was like, it feels good. Let's do this. And then I asked Erica, and she said, yeah, my mate, you know, he knows. I'm like, okay, great. So let's like pencil this in. I will just check the agenda if we need to request somebody else to be moved. Probably not. Do you know what day of the week it is?
I do not at this moment, but I can definitely get that information to you.
I'm just trying to think. Yeah.
Let me look it up real
Are
quick.
you there with
July 23rd, Buck Moon. And what day is that? The 23rd is a Friday.
So you said 23rd or 25th?
I did bad math on that. I mean, since today is the zero moon, it should be 14 days or 2 weeks. So it'd be the next. It'd be the Friday after next. So basically the 23rd, July 23rd, Friday, Buck Moon, full Buck Moon.
Right. Yeah. So then we will see, because I believe maybe we could. Yeah, we'll see, because I think we have Tanya who is doing sound healing. I'm gonna meditate and see how we could maybe combine it, or we're just gonna do, or we're gonna do something in August. Let's see how that's gonna feel. You game, right?
Yeah, I'm game.
Yeah, that was super fun, and people really loved it. And let's make it a regular thing. If you're available, we would love to have it, because every next one people will learn and they will get into it. I presume we can do lots of rituals, different ones.
Yeah. Right? Yeah. This is just the tip of the iceberg.
Yeah, exactly. So we scratched a little bit today. We gave you a little taste, and it was lots of fun. People really loved it. I am super grateful, Colin, for you making time to make an appearance. And I intended this grows to reach, that is our prayer, that this grows to reach millions and millions. And why not? We are co-creators, right?
Let's do it.
Let's do it. Awesome. So thank you, man. Have fun. Reach to Erica and your kids. And we will talk soon. I'll be in touch next week, okay?
Sounds good. Have a good one.
Thank you so much. Have a good one too. Bye.
Bye.